Ukraine. My name is Victor Fursov, I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper and teacher, and this is my channel. Today, May 25th, 2024. I am in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and today weekend, so it's time to walk a little bit around, and I decided to take this short video maybe just before my stream online from laboratory. So I wanted to take this video outside in a green place. Daytime it's too shiny, sunshine is maybe a little bit hot, but now it's down, sunset. Sun is going down behind these buildings, and I'm in a green place near the Christian Orthodox Cathedral, which I'm just showing sometimes, and I'm very pleased to show you this peaceful place with some pine trees, with some jasmine trees, with some rosy hip trees, shrubs, with some flowers, with some irises flowers, and with some birds. You're gonna listen to the sounds of some birds around. I'm not quite sure who it is, but nevertheless we're just hidden somewhere on this tree. But I'm entomologist, and people who know me know that I'm studying entomology, and I am working in Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences. So my subject is entomology and insects. So that's why my next stream, which is coming soon, will be devoted to the science of entomology. Science about insects, about their morphology, biology, ecology, insects conservation, and of course insects identification. For many people, entomologist means someone who is collecting insects without any stop. And some devoted, too much devoted entomologists of young age are intended to collect everything around in green grass, on green shrubs, on trees, on bark, in the soil, to collect everything what we can see on naked eye. Sometimes even with special traps, with special light, with special activities. And even me, just I described some methods of collecting of small parasitic insects, small parasitic wasps. Different methods which I described in my books, how to collect Hymenoptera parasitica and how to study Hymenoptera parasitica. So you can download them on my webpage on Academia.edu and on researchgate.com as well. Two special websites where you can download PDFs and deja vu files, articles, books of different scientists, including me. Just type my name in researchgate.com or Academia.edu, and you can find my account where you can download some papers about entomology, about insects. Hello from Ukraine, hello to another country, I guess probably to India or maybe to America, because my videos are translated to different countries, and always very pleased to communicate with people from other countries, from India, America, Australia, and Britain in English language. Some people are talking in English in other countries as well. Like recently I had TikTok conversation with my friend and colleague from African country, from Tunis. All right, from Thailand. I'm very pleased to hear you, to see you on the screen. In Thailand, I'm very interested in Thailand because just recently I started to prepare a new stream about stingless bees. Stingless bees. You know, stingless bees were small bees which are not stinging. They are not inhabiting our land, they are not living in temperate region like Ukraine. So because we do not hibernate during the cold time, at least minus temperatures, we do not survive. Do they survive in your area? Have you ever seen stingless bees in your area in India? Have you seen stingless bees somewhere in Thailand? That's quite interesting. I'm not sure if you are just biologists or if people are not biologists, so they do not intended to see insects around. People usually avoid insects. People try to get rid of insects. Yes, because if you are saying, are you studying insects? Somebody can ask me. So it means I'm studying something to get rid of insects. No, I am not going to get rid of them. I'm going to conserve them, to save them, because, you know, there is a special slogan, save bees, which is connected with honeybees. Sorry about it. I have special feature. Very special feature. I have very special feature. If I don't like someone who is commenting something, I put in to block it. So it's quite easy to avoid some unnecessary comments. So my job is connected with entomology. My job is to study, to identify insects and to use them in biological control. Yes, so someone appeared from unfriendly country, so I just deleted this person from comments and I blocked it. If you are from friendly country, you are just writing friendly comment. So biological control, this means this is a biological control of pests, insects, pests, using another insects. So without insecticides, without chemicals, it means to avoid chemicals, to make ecological agriculture. So that's why some insects were bred in the laboratory for they're beneficial. They're feeding only on some pests. So we're breeding them, we're just disperse them in agricultural land, so to reduce pesticides pressure, to reduce chemical pressure on agriculture. So in that time, that's why I'm studying some insects which are connected with biological control. I have shown some publications, some books about biological control on my channel. And actually, one piece of biological control is very simple. For instance, if you know wasps, if you know ants were also used for biological control. Because I was walking here around, I found that many ants are just crawling around. Some are very common, but I found one special small nest with very tiny brown color ants of a family Formicidae. I don't know precisely the name, because they have a very special Latin names, but I need to look for them under the microscope. I have my friend and colleague Vladimir Radchenko, who is studying bees, and Alexander Radchenko, who is studying ants, Formicidae. Professor Radchenko, Vladimir Radchenko, is studying not honeybees, but studying wild bees. But Professor Alexander Radchenko studying especially ants, specialist expert on ants. So I can use this tube with these ants to make some consulting with him. What is the species of ants is here? Because he's expert and I'm just expert on parasitic and wasp, but he's expert on ants, because all entomologists who are taxonomists, they prefer to ask advice from precise expert. You cannot be expert on everything, on every insect around. Just preliminary, you can make identification. Preliminary entomologist with wide mind can identify different insects, and entomologist with good knowledge and experience can identify insects using different. What I'm watching, just insects crawling here near me. Someone interesting. Near my smartphone. But if we need to know just precise name, which can be used for scientific publication, we need to ask expert on bees, expert on ants, expert on parasitic wasp, and so on. Or if you are interested in some beetles, so we have different people who are studying beetles, but they are not studying wasps. And vice versa, some people who are studying tiny moths, they do not know beetles, they do not know wasps. They are studying just tiny moths. Even just if we study tiny moths, we do not study large daily butterflies, because they're completely different. There are a lot of species, and you must be expert on specific group of entomological subject, on specific family or group of families of insects, to make precise, correct scientific identification. I am making identification of small parasitic wasps, which are used in biological control. I collect them also in these tiny tubes. They are so small, so this tube is too big. I use smaller tubes, even not like this one. Not like this one, it's also too big for my tiny wasps. I use my wasps, for them I use tiny Eppendorf tubes, like this. So always, if you're outside, you need to have Eppendorf with me, or like this, or this tiny glass tube. Sorry. So you can listen to this tiny bird. So that's why I like this place, which is quiet, especially in evening time. Despite this quietness, despite this calm situation here near the church, near this cathedral, unfortunately, Ukraine now is a terrible situation because of wide-scale war. And today we already had 2 times air sirens and air alerts about possible missiles attacks, because these alerts is just spread all around the territory of Ukraine, so we must be careful. Some people are going to the shelter nearby, going to underground metro, but for majority of people have no shelter. We cannot go and hide somewhere in a shelter, somewhere underground in metro, because metro is here 15 minutes over there, and it's outside. It's just on the ground. It's metro on the ground. But under the ground, if it is under the ground, it also takes time, efforts, and if we have air alerts quite often, people trying to avoid it, just keep the fortune in a positive way, trying to think that this shelter cannot be used. But who knows, sometimes. Last time missile attack from the side of Russia was quite heavy. It was about maybe over 10 explosions, which we heard outside in a city, in different areas, in one place, another place. City of Kyiv is quite large, maybe over 20 kilometers in diameter. So if you are just living on one side of city, you do not hear what's going on another side. But if something's happening just in around 5 kilometers, you can listen it quite pretty well, and it's quite terrible. Of course, situation now in another our city, in Kharkiv, which is just an eastern border of Ukraine, is harder than in anywhere. Hard is the same as in other eastern cities in eastern border between Ukraine and front line with Russian aggressor, if you know what I'm talking about. Because many people do not pay attention to it. For young people they take time, we take pleasure of life. I'm not very young, so that's why I have some experience, I have some publications, so I have something which I have done during my career and in science, and I have interest to pass of some of my knowledge to another people, to another entomologist, to another specialist, to another biologist in my publications. For that what I need time. And for that I am using also some connections during the streams, during some lectures. That's why I'm talking with people in outreach communication to talk with people not only about science but also in some popular common subjects like pests, like some interesting insects, some beautiful events in nature, some interesting biological tricks in nature, and it's sometimes very interesting for people. I'm sitting here near this interesting monument, very honorable place with Virgin Mary, and just near some trees in a small park near the Christian Orthodox Church, which is devoted to Chernobyl disaster. You know, Chernobyl disaster was in 1984, quite long time ago, but it wasn't this time. This was Chernobyl disaster. This is explosion of nuclear power station in Ukraine, which was approximately I guess in 70 kilometers outside of Kyiv, but it's quite close in general. It was in April 1986, and it was disastrous time because people had been evacuated from Chernobyl city, from some local villages, and a huge radiation pollution was around in northern area out of city of Kyiv. Fortunately we can say wind was not to the south but to the north, and many places have been damaged because of radiation. So that's why it was a really disastrous time, and Chernobyl disaster took the lives of many people who just was firemen and other people who protected this, who was fighting against fire on Chernobyl power station. And here near this cathedral, near St. Michael Cathedral, there is a special monument. I can show you. This is a small monument which is devoted to firemen and soldiers who just took part in the liquidation of consequences of just fire and all the radiation around Chernobyl power station, which was in 1986. So this is actually connected with old time. Old time is connected with our current time, which is also quite difficult, especially that some places in the east are fighting for independence, fighting against Russian aggressor. So that's why people can write some comments, and I will delete these comments. Anyway, just thank you for coming. Today we had a little bit historical stream, little bit about entomology, about ants, about parasitoids, and don't forget that now it's so many insects around, so I hope to show them better maybe in a park with green land, with green plants, with green trees. But here it's quiet place, easy to communicate, easy to show, easy to speak, so do not disturb other people. And to find a quiet place for stream and for communication with audience. If you have some questions about Ukraine, write in the comments. If you have some questions about entomology, science of entomology, if you have some questions about insects, write in the comments. If you want to communicate in some details on some appropriate questions regarding entomology and insects, you can contact with me on my email. Email is indicated in the description of each video on my channel. Thank you for coming. See you soon on my channel, because I'm in a hurry to come to my lab to make new stream, not in the green place but from laboratory. See you soon on my new stream. Good luck. Thank you for coming. Don't forget, press like, write comments, ask your questions, and visit my Patreon page for donations, or make your donation and your sponsorship just on first page of YouTube channel is also very much appreciated. So welcome to be my sponsor of my channel about science of entomology and in science of beekeeping and about education in biology. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Bye bye. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe as well.